Hi guys, welcome to LiveTutelage. Now in this session, today we'll discuss about something called random number generation. So first let us create some class. So go to your package, right click it and create a class, and this class talks about random number generation. Okay, random number generation. So we know what is a random numbers, right? So random numbers are numbers which we doesn't know, randomly displaying some numbers, right? So for example, I want to throw a dice randomly. So I may get 2 at one time, or 3 at one time, or 5 at one time. It is nothing but a guessing, right? So randomly it throws a number. Okay, so that is about a random number. Now we'll write a program in Java how to create a random numbers. So for creation of a random numbers, of course Java is about packages. Java will have the packages. Java software itself is built with a number of packages imported, and this random number is in the package called util. Import java.util. Okay, in this util you have a method called, or you have a class called random. You have a class called random. Now listen, if suppose if you are using only the random class, try to import only the random. So if you just give dot star, all the methods or all classes in util will be imported, right? So which is not a good practice. So whatever the class that you are trying to use for your program, try to represent only that particular class name. Okay, now this is the class random that I have imported from the package called util. Now I'll come directly to the main method, and let us create, to access the methods in the class random, I have to create an object, right? So let me create an object for random, which is RND, random number, which is equal to new random. So that means it creates an object for our random. Now I'm going to store the random number, right? So for that I just have taken created one integer value. So say something like integer number. In this number, store each time the random number is generated. Say something like rnd dot. Okay, next int rnd dot. You have a next int. That means it prints the next int and the bound, the range. Okay, the range will be usually the dice will have a 6 faces. So I will give it up to 6. So throw a random number in the range of 6. Okay, now let me display this. Dot println. So the random number is stored in number, right? Now let me run the program. Say Java application. Now you can find 1 here, right? Now let me run again. So 0 it has come, right? Now let me run again. So again it is 0, right? So if you want to run it at a time, see now this time it is 2. If you want to run it at a time for 10 times, you want to display a random number of range 6 up to 6 times. So each time it has to create it and print it. So what you have to do, you need to go for a looping. We have discussed in the basic classes what is the loop and what is the use of the loops, right? So I'm just taking a loop of integer a which is less than 10, and I'm incrementing the variable a plus plus. That means what happens? The loop will repeat 10 times, from 0 to 10 times. Initially I have assigned the value for a as 0. So from 0 till 10, it repeats the loop for 10 times and it prints the random number. Okay, now we'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens. Now when I run my program, now I say 1. See here, you can find 10 times the random numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 and 10, right? So 10 times you have repeated your loop. So if you want it for a lesser time, you can just give it for 5 times. Okay, you run your program. Now you can find 5 times the random numbers, right? Now, if I say 10 times, you can find the 10 times the random number generation. So first time it prints the value of 5, then 2, then 3, 3, 3, 1, 5, 5, 5, okay, and finally 0. Now if you observe this series, you didn't find the number 6, right? You didn't find the number 6. How many times I ran my program? The reason is, when I say the 6 means it consider from 0 to 5. Okay, so it always, when I say 6 means it will consider from 0 to 5. That is, the 6 phases of my random number will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. But I want it to be more realistic. So I need to generate of my random numbers 1 to 6. So what you need to do is, you have to see, I don't want 0, I want 1 and 6 to be displayed randomly. So you just add 1 to it. Okay, now you run your program again. Now this time see, there is no zeros occurred. You can find 1 and 6 here. At one time it displays number 6. See, 6, 6 and 5, 2, 1, 1 and 3, right? So this is how you can display your random numbers. So very simple. For displaying of random numbers, you need to import a random class which is from the util package, and create an object called the random, and you have a method called .nextInt. That means next time it prints an integer of the bound, which is a range of 6. Okay, so since the random numbers generation will start from 0, so we need to add 1 for our programs. Okay, now you can do some experiments. If you just say R&D dot, you have a lot of methods here. If you want, you can do some experiments with this in your free time. Okay, this is about random number generations. Thank you.